got another episode of After Hours with MGDOB. We got Matt D with us. He's been wanting this story about the little people told for years. He even, before the Blair Witch Project, he was talking about wanting to run through the woods with cameras and look for the little people. Is that not right?
That's true.
Okay. And you said those bastards stole your idea, right?
Yeah, because you had this story and you had people with you every time. And then there's other witnesses, so I was thinking we could interview like all the people that saw it and
Right.
go in the woods and try to find it.
Well,
I should have thought of making it like a movie.
it would have been like on a camcorder with a VHS and all that back
Old
then,
school.
because that was a long time ago. I was probably, I'm guessing around 13, 14 years old. And I'll go ahead and tell a little bit of the story. At the end of the video, we'll go around to some of the locations and actually show. There's houses and stuff there now, so you're not going to see the same exact scenery I seen back then. But it'll give you a general idea of where everything is.
Plus you got this.
Plus I got this awesome map I drew.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's good here. But let's see here. 13, 14 years, what would that be? 90-some, 1990-some?
Let's see.
I ain't telling my real age on here, so I'll just say in the 90s.
I was thinking like late 80s. You're older than me.
Yeah, it could have been the late 80s. Okay. Hopefully you can see this map real good. Coming down this road up here, right in this area was all heavy woods. And we would go down this trail. It would cut all the way to a main highway. And people rode bikes and dirt bikes and things down there. And we would go out here and explore. And I had tree houses like right over here, tree houses in various places. Because we didn't have cell phones, computers and all that back then. We actually went out and did something. All these roads were dirt back then too. Very secluded. Well, me and Travis, I think that was the boy. This was years ago. He's been gone a long time. We went down this trail, and we're just exploring back in the woods. And I'm sure we were looking for something to make a bow and arrow with, or either a treehouse area to build something. And we started seeing these little weird tracks, and there was puddles of water that had run through there. And you could see the little tracks. I can't hardly explain them. They didn't look like deer tracks or a normal. They could have been some kind of animal, but I don't know about that. But they would kind of hop to the other side of the water. They never went in it. And these were like maybe 6-inch, 12-inch wide. Those streaks of water running through the woods. And so we're kind of following these tracks, and then we kind of got a creepy feeling, and we came to a little clearing. And right there is somewhere in this area. I mean, it's a long time ago, but it was somewhere right here. We seen the little guy there.
Describe it a little bit.
Well, that's hard to describe him.
His hat looked like that, right?
The triangles on the little guys where we see that. But they look sort of like those little dink-dinks from Spaceballs. And everybody tells me that's the little guys from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jabbers. I don't know. I've never watched Star Wars.
I don't know what they're called, but they have like a hood on.
Yeah, you can't hardly see their face. It's
all
like
you can see is their eyes.
Yeah, that's how this was. It's literally you couldn't really make out a face. It was just like shadowed with you could like a glimpse of two eyes.
And they're like real short, like
maybe 3 foot, 4 foot. That's hard to judge from back then, but they were shorter than me. And I mean, it wasn't like their little elf or nothing. But it just stood there. It didn't move. But I mean, I know what woods and stumps and all that look like. It was nothing like none of that. It was really strange, and it had really creepy air about it. So we took off running out of the woods. Freaked us out. So we didn't play in these woods for a while. We stayed out of them. Of course, nobody would believe a story like that. Well, sometime maybe a year later, me and another boy, I was telling him about it. We decided we were going to go out there and explore. So we got the BB gun, because that's back then, you know, we carried BB guns, knives, and all that stuff around with us. And we were outdoors type kids. And I had a big old hunting style knife, and I think he had a BB gun or something, pellet gun. So we went back down the road here. We hopped the ditch. We didn't go to the trail. And
Where's the ditch?
this whole area by the road here is ditch.
Right.
And but we had little trails where we could jump across the ditch. And so, oh yeah, I did leave out one detail. There had been a forest fire, and like a small one someone had set, and it had burned all these woods, and they were starting to grow back. But it was a lot of clearings with piles of logs out there that the Forestry Service and fire department, whatever, they had piled them up out there. But there was a lot of underbrush. So we walked back, and we're exploring, and we walked back, started seeing these little weird tracks again. And right, if I can read my own map, I remember this one real clear. This one's a little foggy.
The first?
Yeah, the first one, because that was just really foggy. This one I remember, there was two stumps, small trees, right here on each side, and then bushes in the middle growed up, and you couldn't see on the other side. But there was lots of clearings everywhere where the woods had burnt. We walked around these bushes, and there that little guy was again. I gotta keep this family friendly. Standing right there, and it like never moves, and it made it even creepier.
But it's just like staring.
Yeah, and we were going to be bad, you know, go with our knives and BB guns and take this thing out. But after seeing it, and you get that eerie, creepy feeling, because it was a real creepy feeling because it came over you. And it's hard to explain. We just turned and we ran again, and jumped the ditch and left.
Hey, what about the footprints? What did they, or the whatever?
I don't know how to describe them now. I just remember we seen little weird prints. I don't remember what they looked like.
Right.
I mean, that's.
But it didn't look like a person's
It
foot.
didn't look like a deer. I've seen deer tracks and
Right.
things like that. And it wasn't like that. It was just like impressions in the ground. I mean, these things, I don't even know if they walk, if they float, walk, what. Because you never seen their feet. All you see was this like black robe looking thing with like hardly no features of a face, and you know, so.
And it's just standing there.
Yeah, it's just like they're not moving. I mean, and so it's really weird. The only times, and that's the story I'm coming up to now, there's other instances I'll mention that happened with other people. And I think I can move to that one now. There's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but really nothing wrong with saying his name.
I think you ought to tell your encounter first, because like your encounter.
I think his happened before that one, though.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, if I'm correct.
All right, we'll tie that in later.
I'm trying to remember if his happened first. Now you got me confused.
I don't really know I know your three instances, and I
You
know
know what? I
people.
think mine did happen first because I'd got another year older, and we were starting to sneak around and smoke cigarettes. And that's where we ended up here again one night, because we didn't want nobody to see us smoking. So we went down the road here. There's three of us. We had our bicycles, all three of us. One of us was real heavy, and you'd be surprised how that boy moved that night. He could run for a fat boy. And now I'm fat. But back then I wasn't. So we went right here at the beginning of this trail was a circle in the woods. You couldn't see in there. It was really grown up, heavy underbrush. But you rode your bike through the ditch, and there was a trail through the ditch, and right here was a circle. And we were sitting in that circle smoking, and it wasn't like nothing illegal, and we wasn't drinking or anything like that. It was just Marlboro Lights. So we're sitting there smoking, and Travis was like, and let me make a note on this. We wasn't scared. We wasn't spooked out or nothing like that. We were just having a good time
hanging out.
Yeah, and it wasn't like no creepy thing, because we were used to hanging out in the woods. And we had about forgot all this, but it wasn't fresh in our minds. So we were sitting there, and Travis is like, "Hey man, I hear something. And we're like, no, you don't. And Travis lied a lot and exaggerated. And I mean, anyway, so we didn't pay him a bit of money. A few minutes later, he's like, man, I hear something. And then Norman's like, I hear it too. And then at that time, I heard it. And there was like a loud crashing coming down the trail. And this trail was wide enough that you didn't have to hit the branches and things like that coming through, but it was like making a lot of ruckus.
This thing was like coming through the thick.
Yeah, through the thick stuff and fast. And we grabbed our bikes and ran through the ditch and got to the road here. And as we did, it stopped right behind us, right at the entrance to the trail, and you could just see outline, the little black outline with the little red eyes. And that was the creepiest time that it ever happened to me. The other times were creepy in the daytime, because it was a middle of day.
So it
that
stopped,
one was,
and it did its little stand there.
And just stood there, like, didn't move.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And it was creepy. Oh yeah, I left out a part. We got talking about this guy here. We ain't got to him yet. The torches in the woods.
Right.
We had been coming down this road at night, and you could see it was heavy woods back there. Now it's all houses and stuff. You could hear a chanting in the woods, and these torches. And look, I'm assuming it was torches. You couldn't really see. You could see like flames flickering in the woods. So I'm calling it torches. It could be campfire or whatever. But there was chanting, and you could hear it in the distance because it was real quiet out here at night. Nothing going on. I mean, it's secluded. So I don't know if that ties in or not somehow. Little midget devil worshippers or something. But
it's really weird.
It is, yeah. It's really weird. And I had heard for years about people going in the woods around here and doing rituals and things like that. So there's no telling what was going on here. I know the girl that lived here, they say was a Satanist or whatever, and had a graveyard headstone in her closet. Now, I've never seen that personally, but I know people who have, or said they did. Right. Okay, well, we run out of here, and we go down this road right here. We slow down about right here, because the one boy, he was real heavy. I'm surprised he made it that far. And we didn't even like get on the bike. We just ran with the bikes. So we sit here and talk about things, and you know it's dark, you know, down this secluded, yeah, like you know. And then we probably I don't remember what we talked about, but I'm assuming I probably mentioned this old stuff that happened. And this could have been a case of the nerves right here, but when we went down this road, we heard something moving in the woods. We would walk, we'd hear crashing in the woods beside us, and it was loud. We'd stop. It would stop. We'd start walking, we'd hear it again. Happened all the way down, and we came down here until we left to the front of the neighborhood on out roads that's not on this map. So, anyway, that was what happened. And there's a trail here, too, where we went back and we seen some weird tracks, and that's why I got a triangle there, too. That's where I used to ride bikes through the woods there. Let's see here. We went through some time, and we were at this house here one night, the older man that lived there. We had never told him or any of those older people, you know, the stories about the little people in the woods. And he got to telling us ghost stories. And he said, hey, you know what happened to me one night? And we were like listening, you know, we were young and we were interested. And he said, the dog was in the yard barking at the gate across the street. And that's right here. And he said, so I took the shotgun and walked out there to see what was going on because the dog was raising Cain. And he said, I'd seen something over by the gate. He said it was this little black thing standing there with these little glowing red eyes. And when I say red eyes, not like real bright like in the movies. These just a little faintness. You can tell something's there.
That's weird. So it's not like a light, like a...
Yeah, not like in the movies where they're just like demon eyes just piercing out or nothing. It was just, you could tell something's there. And he said it just creeped me out, and I got this creepy feeling. and I pointed the shotgun at it, and it didn't move, it didn't say nothing. And he said, at that point, he said, I just had a mutual agreement. I was going to leave it alone, and I went back inside.
Yeah.
Well, we're all sitting there looking at each other, you know, thinking, wow, that's the same crap we've been seeing. And so, I don't know, that was creepy, him telling us that story. I never had any more experiences with seeing it after that. A friend was walking home one night and says he's seen the outline of it with eyes right here in this corner again. And I got one more good one. A girl I know, she was walking home at night. She had been out and she was going to sneak in the house, so her mom didn't know she was out. So
she like snuck out late and then she had to sneak in.
Right.
Sneak back in.
Yes. And so she was going to go in through the window. She would go in through her bedroom window. So this house here, that's why it's on the map. She walks down this road, comes here. They have a very good night lights in their yard. The yard's lit up well. She walks around the side of the house and is about to climb in the window and says she gets a really creepy feeling and turns around. Right there in the middle of the yard, there's no trees, nothing, just grass with a bright night light shining out. And there's a little black looking critter there with the eyes just sitting there in the middle of the yard.
It's kind of like near the woods, but like
right there, yeah. Just staring at it, if you can call it staring, and because you can't really make its face out. Right. But she said she didn't care if she got caught sneaking in or not after that. She took off running and ran right in the front door of the house.
Right.
And
I remember asking this guy, like we were over there, we asked him about it, and he told the same story. And I remember you asking her about it, because you said that you had heard she saw it. Mm-hmm. And so we asked her about it, and she told you that story.
That's right, you were with me.
And she was like, yeah. She was banging on the door, screaming, and all upset.
Yeah, her mama let her in. There's some creepy stuff. But they took all their homes away now. Because now we got all houses going in over here.
Oh, yeah.
Houses all over here.
Like all that was woods before.
Yeah. I think there could be a little bit of woods still right here, maybe. And down at the end of this lane here, there's some woods down there because a lady was coming home, had a black bear in her yard with cubs. It was dark, and she pulled in the yard and seen something moving, and it was a bear and cubs, and which is a shame. Goes to show how much building's going on out here. It's running them all out the woods.
Well, we need to go out there and explore while there's still, see if we can get this on video while there's still some woods.
We probably should go out there and explore some.
That tent story.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell that. Okay, this same guy here, now he's a little bit of a troublemaker. And he was hiding from the law. They had a warrant for his arrest. The same night, I can't believe I forgot that. My mind's getting foggy with age. He told us about this. That was the same night, I think, wasn't it?
I don't know. Okay.
You weren't around with him.
I remember
not that exact.
Hearing this story, but I didn't know it was the same guy until you told me.
Yeah, it was the same one. Because he stayed in tents in the woods a couple times. He was living in a tent in this area right here in these woods. And I'm hiding out from the cops. And he had a big dog. I don't remember what kind it was. But
it was mean.
He was telling us he was out there one night, and he was in his tent, and the dog started barking and growling and took off running through the woods. And then he heard it yelp a few times, and then it was gone. He never seen the dog again. And that's all I got to tell with the tent. But something
like
got
that might not have anything to do with it, but it's it was around the same time in the same area.
This area right here was a hot spot. I mean, we had the torches right here, and right in the yard it had came out, and like right here right here was woods. It just comes out the edge of the woods right there at the gate, and and crashing through the woods, I didn't actually see it, so I mean we just assumed that was it. These 3 times we seen it, and the girl, she seen it here and described it just like I'd seen it. This guy, he described it just like I'd seen it. Now, and when he was staying in the tent, he didn't see it. He just heard the dog yelp, and the dog disappeared.
And he didn't go out until the morning.
Yeah.
The dog was gone.
Yeah, the dog was gone.
to me, this story, what I like about it is like so many people that like when you saw it, you had people with you, so
Right.
you know it makes it credible. And then all these other stories kind of line up, like
Yeah.
in the right areas, because you know you heard it over here, and then they see it right here, and then you know same thing with her. She's right by her house is right by where it happened.
Right.
So that
I think the little people just got them another one.
something's going on outside. But so like all these witnesses, they described it the same way, and you know it's in the right areas. The whole torch thing, that's just weird. Like
That could have been something separate.
yeah, but it's just weird that it happened in the same area.
Yeah, and it was around the same time frame as the trail when we ran out. Now it was not in the same time frame when I first seen these. These
Right.
were about a year apart.
Right.
I was younger when I seen it the first time, and then about a year, and then and it might not have been quite a year for the next.
Right.
So, because I was getting up near 16 by this point. And
Well, I remember like you had told your cousin Bernie. Wait, are we allowed to say names on here?
You'll be all right with that.
You can edit it later. You told your cousin about it, and he had done like research, and he was talking about like little people sightings. You know,
I
first
forgot
like
what he called them. These were these little demonic creatures. He was talking about in other countries.
yeah, he was talking about other countries. Like there's all kinds of folklore,
Yeah.
and then in like in this country, like a lot of Native Americans have stories about different types of little people.
Right, you were telling me that some of you had seen on videos.
And like, you know, like the Cherokee that were around here saw little people, you know. But it could have been some little guy in like a little hermit.
It would have had to been a little midget. That's all I got to say.
Midget
Because
hermit.
I'm not even tall, and it was shorter than me,
Little midget
or close to my height. You know,
hermit out in the woods.
just trying to scare everybody off.
Yeah, like
But
was,
it was weird. The thing that made this one the weirdest.
which one? The one where
When the
he chased
one
you?
where it chased us out of the trail, I call it chasing, even though it stopped, because it was moving.
It was coming after y'all.
Until we went through that ditch. As soon as we hit the road, it stopped right there and stood there and didn't move.
Right.
But we ran down this road fast. And by the time we got over here, we could hear that crashing in the wood. And that could have been something totally different, but I've been all over this.
It would have had to go more around.
Yeah, it would have had to literally go all the way around. And that's a long way going in the woods. Going down this road's short path, but here there's houses and all back here. It would have had to go all the way around, or either cut through yards. Yeah, there's no telling, but I don't know. All I know is it made a heck of a lot of noise, and I travel these roads a lot at night, and I never heard stuff crashing in the woods beside me until that night that happened.
And that was weird, because it crashed through and then just stopped and stared at y'all like it.
Wanted to eat somebody. I don't know. I need to look it up some more myself, but
I just thought it was a cool story, and a lot of people saw it, and I always wanted to know what the hell it was. I wanted to go back, but it had been a few years since y'all had seen it, so
Right.
it was probably gone, whatever it was. But
yeah, all the building and all.
yeah, they started making that neighborhood next. Like all that was like, they got rid of all the trees for a while. It was just like paths for like
Yep.
4-wheelers.
Well, we used to ride dirt bikes and
Yeah.
4-wheelers. I remember you
There was still some woods, but it was like,
you took the old Blazer back there. Did all the stuff back there. It was fun. I hated they tore it all down. We could go down this trail and go all the way out, you know, to the main road. This trail all the way to the main road. This trail lead all the way to the main road. We had all kinds of trails through here. Another trail I ain't got on the map. It went through here up to the front. But I guess we're gonna call it a night because it's getting kind of long. You got anything else to add, or?
maybe the next one we can do about UFOs.
No, actually, dude, I don't know if you've seen it. I'll mention this while we're on here. Did you see the news story? It's been all over Facebook. It was on Fox News. It was on Facebook for the Outer Banks. Those little orange glowing orb looking things over the ocean.
No.
Oh, this is recent. It's Unexplained. They couldn't explain what it is. They float around. There was like a dozen of them or something out there floating over the ocean, up in the air.
I've seen one on a few different, like, just reading news sites and seeing stuff like something like a snake.
Oh no, this was like a week or two ago.
But this was like recent too, but it's like people see like a snake looking thing that's moving around in the air.
Oh, these look like they're just glowing orbs, and they're just kind of hovering, and they'll move around. Like, I mean, I'm not talking about like shooting, going across the sky like a plane. They're sitting in one spot, and one will just go up, and then one will go down. Let me put a stick in for a whack somebody. But well, I was gonna go with that. I do want to get filming this one night. Just about every time I go surf fishing, which I haven't been in about a year, out
You
to
see
Fort
something like
Fisher, I've seen that, and the people that have been with me have seen the same thing, not just me. And it's very, I mean, it's obvious. My dad's seen it too.
Right.
You'll be standing there fishing, and you'll look over towards Wrightsville Beach, and over the ocean, you'll see. I've seen as many as 6, and as few as probably 2 to 3. They'll always be in a group, and one will all of a sudden shoot up in the air like way high. I mean, just like straight up.
Right.
And then the other one will go down, and then they're back and forth, and then next thing you know, they just all just shoot off and go and disappear.
That's
And
crazy.
it's like the weirdest thing. And I have seen that. I don't know how many times. I probably never told you about that, but
No, but I've heard stories about that where there'll be different lights and they'll be doing weird stuff together.
that's what interests. Because I've been seeing that for probably 5 years now, and recently somebody videoed it out Outer Banks that was happening there.
Right.
And I was like, that's the same things I've been seeing. And I commented on the YouTube video of
You
it.
should definitely
But,
video that.
I think I could get that on video. It's not. You can't tell nothing but like a glowing orange orb. And it could be the military. There's no telling, because
Right.
you know we got military bases here. But it's not a normal plane or helicopter. It don't make no noise. And I've been down there while they were training with helicopters.
It's
at the base.
similar to this thing. Like you don't know what it is. You're
Yeah.
seeing something. You don't know what the hell.
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff here. We got one of my scariest experiences was here in this house.
Like a ghost story.
Yes.
I got a ghost story. I want to say something else about UFOs first.
Okay.
One of the most credible ones that I've seen is like it was a fighter pilot
Uh huh.
is telling a story, and then they were doing some kind of. They had their aircraft carrier out, and they were doing some kind of like fake mission where 2 planes went off, and they're pretending to be bad guys, and the other 2 planes are gonna try to intercept them. And as soon as the ones that were supposed to intercept got up, they radioed to them, and they said, "We've been seeing something for the past week. We don't know what it is. We want you to go investigate." So they go fly, and they see like this something hovering above the water, but they don't. It's not like a helicopter. They can't tell what it is, and they're up pretty high. And so the guy on the one plane says, "I'm gonna get a closer look," and they said, "Okay, we'll stay up here and try to figure it out." And it's showing up on radar and everything too. So he like kind of spirals down, gets closer to it, and he gets pretty close, and it just takes off like faster than they were like flying like some of our fastest planes that we have at the time. I can't remember what it was, some Hornet or something. But like as fast as he could go, that thing just took off. And then so he radioed up to the people up higher, like, "Where is it?" And they're like, "It's gone. Like we don't see it either. It just took off like so fast, like nothing we have could fly that fast."
Huh.
And they don't know what the hell it was, you know. But I don't know.
There's been a lot of that going on lately.
But there's no telling if it's like some people think UFO. They just assume spaceship from some other
Right,
planet,
right.
but it could be some kind of secret military project.
Yeah, there's no telling.
Yeah,
I just seen on the news today where China was making some kind of helicopter that looked like a flying saucer now. It's like a really high-tech stealth type helicopter. And I thought that was weird. But it's an actual helicopter though, so it probably makes a lot of noise.
I know. Like when the stealth bomber, when it came out, like they did all kinds of tests years
Oh yeah,
before.
so many people thought that was UFOs.
Yeah,
I mean, and they were testing it.
and they were testing it years before they made it public. So there's no telling, You know, they could have something more advanced now that we won't find out about.
Some people say that those glowing orbs could be flares from the military, but I don't see that because I've seen them hover and move around. They will like shoot one direction, then they come back, and then they shoot straight up and
I've
come
heard
back.
about stuff.
How's a flare gonna go straight up?
Right.
It's falling. I mean, I'm assuming, you know, after it reaches its point, it's going to be coming back down.
Right.
Because it's not like flying around.
They can't interact like they people
yeah.
say. And then just take off and just go like real far out of sight.
Right. I need to check something. Okay. I was worried about this camera because I'm new with this camera. And I didn't want to sit here and it not be videoing, you know.
I thought you didn't have it turned on or something.
Well, the screen goes black on it.
We'd have to like.
That would suck if all the footage of all this talk. And that happened to me the other day. I was filming at the beach. My cousin, I had my rear view camera on, and I told him to make sure that the dash view camera was on, and he said it was, and he thought it was. We were both new to the camera, and it wasn't, so I didn't get no film. And that sucks when you sit there.
Yeah, that would suck. If this whole thing wasn't on.
Which I've enjoyed talking about this anyway, but
yeah.
I wanted to catch it on film. So
I just think it's neat because I would have liked to have known what the heck it was, and so many people saw it.
I'm gonna throw in the one little ghost story, and it's don't even relate with this, but I was in my front room, and it's the middle of the daytime. There's nobody home, and I heard footsteps in the house, and there's a ceiling fan in the middle of the living room, and it has a chain hanging out from it, and I heard heavy footsteps. They would come right to my bedroom door, and I was in there with somebody else, and we were just chilling, talking, and all. And you would hear just boom, 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 and the chain on the ceiling fan would go cha-ching like something hit it. And it would stop at the bedroom door, and then it would go boom, 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 all the way back across the living room, and you'd hear cha-ching. And it kept doing it, and I finally looked out the room, nothing in there.
Yeah.
And then after I looked out, it quit doing it. But that was freaky, sitting in there. You could hear the steps stop right at the door.
Yeah.
And then go back the other way, and just back and forth.
That's weird.
And I'm not even going to tell all of them on here. I'm going to make another video about ghost stories one day, because I've had some of that happen out here. I've had a lot of weird stuff happen.
Do I have time for mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
We'll edit it out if it sucks.
The house I used to live in when I was young,
Right?
it was 2-story, and there were several times, like I didn't think about this until later, I didn't piece it all together, but I'd be getting ready for for school, I'd be getting ready to go down and eat breakfast or leave or whatever, and I'd come around the corner and I'd start to go down the steps, and right before I go down the steps, right, like I'm literally about to take a step, I'd hear, it sounded like either my mom or my dad say, "Matt, come here." Damn. You gotta edit that.
You're all right.
I said,
They ain't got their last name. There's a million Matts in the world.
Alright. I forgot we were gonna keep the names out.
It don't really matter that much, but you know.
Anyway, I'd hear like my name, and it would be my mom or my dad, and I'd go in there and be like, "What do y'all want?" And they're in there getting ready. My dad would be shaving or whatever, and they're like, "We didn't call you." And I'd be like, "I heard it plain as day," and I'd be arguing back and forth. They'd be arguing with me. We did not say anything, and it happened. It would happen maybe once or twice in 1 week, and then it wouldn't happen for a long time, and then it would happen again. Like, I mean, I was at that house for maybe 5-6 years, and it happened several times, but it was like far apart.
Right.
But it was just weird. Like, I would go in there and, what do you want? Because I'd hear plain as day, "Matt, come here," and I'd go in there and they didn't. And so, anyways, the scary thing that I saw was at that same spot, because I had a babysitter one night. My parents, it was like early, like winter time, so it was like 6 o'clock, and I had some kids over in the neighborhood, and we were going to play hide and seek. And the babysitter was letting us do it. And I went upstairs, like, the whole house was like we could use the whole house, but everybody else was staying downstairs. But I snuck upstairs. My parents' bedroom, like when you come up to the top of the stairs, you have to turn right, and then when you look forward, you see right into their bedroom. And my parents' bed was right there against like the far wall, and I would get like in the crack between the wall and the bed,
Right.
like if I wanted to scare my sister or something like that. So I went there to hide, because I could look under the bed, and I could see like whatever. And they had like a skirt thing around the bed,
Right, right.
so I'd have to lift it up, and I could look, and I could see under the crack on the other side. I could see into the hallway, and I thought I saw somebody coming up the steps. But as soon as I saw him, I put the skirt down because I didn't want him to see me.
You're right.
But I clearly saw somebody coming up, and I could hear him coming. And I looked under there, and I could see their feet. And they walked to the bed, and they started to walk around to the foot of the bed.
Right.
And I knew they were getting about to the point where they could see me. So I was like, I'm going to just scare them. I don't care if I get tagged or whatever. And I jumped up and yelled, and nobody was there.
Oh, hell.
It freaked me out, and I went downstairs, and nobody believed me. But
That's a pretty good one. I like that.
but it was weird because I saw it at the same spot where I always, like over the years, I
Right,
didn't think
right.
about it until years later, but it was always that spot where I heard something, and that's
Right.
right where I saw it, like coming, like taking that step at the very top.
Oh, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was real creepy.
If you think about hiding the edges and seeing the feet coming up.
And
yeah,
they were like
that'd be
coming
real
around
creepy.
the foot of the bed, and
Yeah,
I jumped
right
up,
at
and
you.
nothing was there, and I ran downstairs.
That's a good one. What we need to do, this video is getting long.
Yeah.
We probably need another night, whenever we get time, do one on ghost stories. It's about Halloween anyway, so that'd make a good one because I've got quite a few. And we can do that. So, that's actually, I like that. And that's the first time I've heard that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've told people, and they're just like, you just.
Well, I know. I like stuff like that because I've had stuff happen to me. I'm not even gonna tell it right now because I got some good ones, but I'm save it for a video. But I'll make a whole video.
Yeah.
And it's the time of the year for it too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night, and I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see how this turns out.
All right. Dirty old bee.